Hey, what's going on? Pastor Matthew here. Just want to share a quick thought with you to help you have some faith today. I've been reading in Genesis, and I was reading in Genesis 21 where Abraham and Abimelech kind of had a bit of a disagreement, and they wanted to make a treaty, and they wanted to be at peace with each other, but there was a few hurdles that they had to overcome, one being a well that Abraham had dug, but Abimelech's people had kind of taken it over. In other words, kind of had pushed their people out and said, hey, listen, we're taking this over, and it kind of wasn't what Abraham wanted. And so Abraham does something really interesting in the process. Not only does he express to Abimelech kind of the issue, but he does something interesting. In verse 27, it says, so Abraham brought sheep and cattle and gave them to Abimelech. And whatever it was that was in Abraham or Abimelech's heart, they wanted to have a treaty, but they had this little issue that they had to overcome. And Abraham decided to be generous in the process, and as a result, it opened Abimelech's heart, and they were able to make a treaty together to move forward, and were able to make a pact. I wonder what in our lives could be resolved. I wonder what doors would open for us. I wonder what relationships could be softened if we would lead with generosity rather than demands. I believe that a generous spirit creates an open hand, they live open-handed. And when we live open-handed, I believe that we can live under an open heaven. I believe that generosity opens doors for us that otherwise they wouldn't open. It puts us in places with people of influence that we wouldn't normally have. When we are generous with our compliments, when we're generous with our kindness, when we're generous with our gifts, when we're generous with our time, when we live generous lives in every arena, I think that it enlarges our life. I think it's in the book of Psalms that we read that the world of the generous gets larger and larger, but the world of the stingy gets smaller and smaller. I believe that if we can live generous, if we can show people kindness, if we can maybe make a generous gesture towards somebody else, that maybe the hardness in their heart, the conflict that we're having, the things that are there, it will begin to subside. It will begin to settle back down. Generosity has a way of opening people's hearts toward us. So if you find yourself in a situation where somebody's heart might be closed to you, or it seems like you keep running into issues, generosity has a way of opening somebody's heart to listen, to receive, and to be loved. That's why men bring their wives flowers after an argument, right? Because it helps open their heart back up to them. That's why sometimes when we do something that puts us in a bad frame of mind for somebody else, a gift can sometimes ease that tension, and it kind of disengages the frustrations a little bit. Generosity opens our hearts to other people. So my encouragement to you today is be generous. Don't be demanding. Don't be hard-headed or hard-hearted. Don't be closed-handed with your life. Be open-handed. Live generously and watch your world get larger and larger. And take a cue from Abraham. When there's conflict, sometimes being generous and gracious will just be what's needed to diffuse the situation and find resolution on the other side. Hey, thanks everybody for watching this. If this has been helpful, share it, like it, comment. Let me know what's going on in your life. Praying for you today. Have some faith for today. We'll talk to you soon.